You might think spending $1,000 more this year on groceries means you're eating better. But what if you're just paying for logos? The truth is, most Americans are burning cash on premium brands that aren't actually better, just better at marketing. In this video, we're ranking 10 Sam's Club finds that quietly crush those expensive labels on taste, texture, and performance. And wait until you see number 1. It's the one shoppers hoard like it's gold-level inflation insurance. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Inflation makes an easy villain. Prices rise, and it feels like everything costs twice as much for half the amount. But dig a little deeper, and you will see another force quietly trimming your bank account: brand loyalty. That's the habit of trusting a logo more than your own wallet. While we blame the economy, the real drain sits in our carts each week in the shape of those big, familiar names. Let's start with how this happens. Shoppers walk into a store already wired to believe a higher price means higher quality. A box of detergent with a sleek bottle and decades of commercials behind it simply feels safer than the off-brand down the aisle. The same goes for paper goods. The logic is that if the pack costs more, it must last longer or work better. In truth, national labels spend more on making you believe that story than they spend improving what is inside the box. Packaging, color design, and decades of nostalgia keep that perception alive. You see the same font your parents trusted and assume consistency. Ads push messages about family softness or legendary cleaning power. But when labs compare ingredients or material density, the differences are often negligible. A premium roll of toilet paper might come off the same production line as its cheaper counterpart, just wrapped in different branding and shipped to separate shelves. Yet people keep paying more because comfort with a name brand feels like a small insurance policy. Marketing departments know exactly how to exploit that comfort. The brighter box, the cartoon mascot, the emotional ad. These add a sense of personality to what is, underneath, a commodity. A jug of detergent doesn't hug you in real life, but it might as well after enough advertising exposure. That thin layer of sentiment is what we pay extra for. And we do pay for it. Over a year, the average household overspends more than $1,000 chasing that feeling. One Texas mom learned that the hard way. She said, "I switched once, never looked back." The real scam was Charmin all along. Her point wasn't about thrift. It was about realization. The switch didn't change her routine. It just ended the illusion that the brand name guaranteed something better. When you think about it, paying double for half the difference, that's not inflation. It's persuasion. Recognizing that pattern is the crack in the wall. Because once you stop assuming expensive equals superior, you start noticing how many store brands quietly outperform the giants they sit beside. Sam's Club's private label, Member's Mark, uses that exact logic as leverage. It flips the script by investing not in commercials, but in matching or exceeding the formulas behind national products. This shift isn't about becoming cheap. It's about being conscious. You choose function over familiarity. And in the next aisle, you will see how that plays out, where those lower-tier Sam's Club items don't just catch up to the big brands, they run right past them. What if the so-called budget choice doesn't just match the premium option? It beats it. That's the uncomfortable truth hiding in Sam's Club aisles. Let's start with the rotisserie chicken. It's $5, but the thing looks and tastes like it walked out of a gourmet deli. It comes off the spit big, glossy, and seasoned edge to edge. Not that pale, dry softball you get at most grocery chains for nearly double. That single item has become a quiet cult favorite. Some members say they keep their entire Sam's Club membership just for that chicken, which tells you how completely it blows up the myth that higher price tags secure better flavor. Same story in the paper aisle. Members Mark Ultra Premium Toilet Paper stacks up against shelves of shiny labels that promise cloud softness and triple strength. When tested side by side, it's hard to find a real difference except the thicker plastic wrapper on the so-called premium rolls. You get more sheets, equal comfort, and the same strength, but at a far smaller price per roll. One shopper put it best after swapping out her name brand routine. I switched once. Never looked back. The real scam was Charmin all along. The comment wasn't a joke. It was relief. Laundry detergent tells the same story in liquid form. The Members Mark version performs on par with Tide. Clothes come out fresh, bright, and unstained, without the cost that doubles your grocery bill over a year. A shopper online claimed that Switch alone saved them around $80 annually, all while leaving their clothes smelling better than ever. That's not a tiny experiment. That's proof that soap doesn't owe loyalty to a television jingle. On cleaning duty, Members Mark paper towels deserve a mention, too. They're thick, strong, and consistent roll after roll. People who once swore by Bounty now call it overhyped. One wrote, "I used to swear by Bounty, now I swear at it." That kind of flip shows brand faith cracking where it hurts most: habit. What ties all these examples together isn't just savings. It's the unsettling realization that high-end marketing has no measurable equation for quality anymore. The price isn't attached to the product. It's attached to the feeling the brand sells you. Blind comparisons, user forums, and store reviews keep pouring in with the same punchline. The lower-cost option wins more often than not. Sam's Club didn't reinvent value, it just stripped away the illusion. Every test, taste, and load of laundry exposes how far price and performance drifted apart. Once you start seeing that pattern, you start keeping your money where the proof is. And taste or texture isn't the end of the story. Comfort and little luxuries are next. They're where the real shakeup begins. Could the secret to living better actually cost less? It sounds suspicious, but that's the paradox hiding in plain sight between the bulk snacks and frozen dinners. After seeing how Sam's Club staples stack up, there's another corner worth exploring. The treats and comforts that look high-end, taste indulgent, and still come without the status markup. Let's start with the desserts. Members Mark mini cheesecakes line the freezer cases in neat rows, priced below what a single slice costs at a restaurant. They have the dense, creamy body and firm crust you expect from a bakery display, not a warehouse box. You taste the real dairy richness instead of filler sugar, and it holds together in a clean bite instead of that gummy residue cheaper treats often hide behind. Same goes for the layered French-style croissants. They flake apart, buttery and warm. Nothing like the greasy, bake-at-home versions that usually leave you wondering if your oven failed. These look every bit like boutique pastries, just without the boutique markup. The tension shows up when you stack those against the culture of branded luxury. We're trained to think that nice things come from glass storefronts and glossy packaging, but the reality lives behind plain cardboard and bulk pricing. A dozen croissants that taste like Paris but cost like Arkansas expose how status has nothing to do with flavor. Members who reviewed them online call them dangerously good. Not because they're cheap, but because they erase the line between indulgent and accessible. Then there's comfort, the kind that greets you at the end of the day instead of the dinner table. Members mark down alternative pillows have earned a reputation as one of those finds shoppers double-check at the register because the price seems off. They're soft yet full, supportive without the crinkle or clump of low-end bedding. The research calls them a highly underrated item that provides a luxurious, hotel-like sleeping experience. When a pillow at discount cost hits the same balance of loft and support you'd expect from a department store label, brand prestige starts looking like the most expensive bedtime story ever sold. This is the moment the illusion cracks. High-end logos don't create quality, they borrow it. Sam's Club's private line simply skips the theater and delivers the texture, balance, and reliability you actually feel or taste. These products remind you that satisfaction is a sensory truth, not a marketing slogan. Real butter beats branding every time. The deeper reward isn't just saving a few dollars. It's the feeling of outsmarting the game. You get to enjoy small luxuries without submission to brand image, and that's a quiet kind of power. Indulgence becomes deliberate, not impulsive, and comfort turns into proof of judgment, not a splurge. Once you start seeing value as the scam isn't inflation, it's brand addiction. The pull of familiar names runs deeper than any price surge, and marketers know it. Emotional hooks drive loyalty long after product quality evens out. That's why breaking the habit feels harder than breaking a budget. Start small. Swap one branded item for a private label this week and track what actually changes. Odds are you'll notice savings, not sacrifice. Because smart shopping isn't about cutting corners. It's about calling bluff on the story you've been sold. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on retail's best-kept savings secrets.